Here's something huge for the Chargers that just dropped. It's right before facing Kansas City. I've been breaking down everything for you, and there are actually 4 key things that could really change this game. Let's get into it. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Alright, let's talk about the first big piece of news. Laviska Shenault Jr. is joining the squad. If you're thinking, that name sounds familiar, you're right. He was a second-round pick in 2020 draft. Look, I've watched his tape, and this guy is special after the catch. When he gets the ball, he turns into this explosive runner who just makes things happen. Even he has demonstrated versatility throughout his career, contributing as a receiver, rusher, and return specialist. Yeah, he's moved around the league a bit, but when you actually watch this guy's film, it's incredible. He's not just making one move, he's breaking tackles left and right. You know how some receivers just go down on first contact? Not Shenault. This guy's turning simple catches into highlight reels. Even on special teams, he's showing that same explosiveness as a kick returner. Just an absolute force with the ball in his hands. Here's why this pickup is bigger than it might seem at first glance. Finding impact receivers mid-season is like striking gold. The Seahawks letting him go might be one of those head-scratchers we look back on. You know, I've been watching how the Lions have been bringing in defensive players off the street all season. And they've been hitting home runs with these mid-season pickups. It's becoming a real trend in the league now. These in-season moves that used to be afterthoughts are turning into game changers. Now, this timing couldn't be better for the Chargers. With Ladd McConkey dealing with that injury and DJ Chark seemingly in the doghouse for whatever reason, Shenault's got a real shot to make an immediate impact. No, he's not going to single-handedly win you a Super Bowl, but these are exactly the kind of moves that can help turn a season around. And now, if we speak of big updates, let's talk about Ladd McConkey. This is huge. He's back at practice after that knee injury from the Atlanta game. Honestly, he goes down with the knee. But here's what I love about his attitude. If I can play, I'm gonna play. That's the kind of mindset you need among all players heading into a tough matchup in Kansas City. This is telling. McConkey's not just talking about playing, he's already putting in work at practice. You know what really stands out here? The way this is being handled. In my years covering the NFL, I've seen how teams manage these situations. When a player's seriously hurt, you usually see a total media blackout. But here, we've got McConkey talking to media. Harbaugh's not shutting anything down. These are good signs. This is the kind of reliable playmaker you absolutely need right now. Now let's talk about the Chiefs' status for this game. I considered these developments interesting for the Chargers. The Chiefs are dealing with their own challenges. Mecole Hardman Jr. just picked up an injury in practice that could impact his availability. Now, you never want to bank on opponent injuries, but it's worth noting because Kansas City's passing game has been a bit of a puzzle this year. They've been rotating through different pieces, especially with that rookie burner who just can't seem to get in sync with Mahomes. The timing of Hardman's injury is particularly interesting because the Chiefs' passing game has already been struggling to find its rhythm. They've been trying to get their rookie speedster going, dealing with Rice's development, and now potentially losing Hardman. That's a lot of moving pieces in their receiver room right when they need stability the most. Here's what's really interesting about this whole situation. When you look at both teams dealing with receiver issues, it sets up a classic Jim Harbaugh scenario. And this is where things get exciting. Let's look at Harbaugh's track record against powerhouse teams. It's absolutely fascinating. This guy has a history of walking into dominant situations and completely flipping the game. Back in college football, he took over at Stanford University when they were nothing special and faced University of Southern California when they were the kings of college football. Nobody gave Stanford a chance. USC hadn't lost at home in years. But Harbaugh's team went in there and physically dominated USC, just completely shocked everyone in college football. Then he moves to the 49ers, and everyone's talking about the Seahawks being this unstoppable force. It just didn't matter to him. He just went right at them. But the real eye-opener was what he did at Michigan with the Ohio State situation. Here's Ohio State, this absolute juggernaut, and Harbaugh comes in and immediately has Michigan going toe-to-toe with them. Sure, he couldn't get those early wins, but emerge as a dominant force. Harbaugh just comes in and completely dominates Ryan Day 3 years straight after Urban Meyer left. Michigan wins again this year, and that pattern tells you everything you need to know about what's coming with the Chargers against the Chiefs. Harbaugh's not just not afraid. He lives for these moments. You know, we talk about elite NFL coaches, and they fall into different categories. You've got Andy Reid, brilliant X's and O's guy, especially with a generational talent like Mahomes. But then you've got this other breed. The Harbaugh brothers, Mike Tomlin and Dan Campbell, in his own unique category. These guys bring something different. It's about mentality, physicality, the whole culture shift. Now, let's shift the focus to the Chargers' win against the Falcons and Justin Herbert's role in that victory. While the game wasn't an offensive shootout, Herbert showed why he's the heartbeat of this team. Completing 16 of 23 passes for 147 yards, he didn't light up the stat sheet, but his performance was exactly what the Chargers needed: efficient, composed, and turnover-free. What stood out most was his ability to manage the game and make critical throws under pressure. The Falcons' defense threw everything at him, but Herbert stayed calm, kept the offense moving, and delivered when it mattered. That kind of steady presence under center is what separates good quarterbacks from great ones. With the Chiefs' defense dealing with injuries in their secondary, Herbert's ability to capitalize on mismatches and stay efficient could once again be the deciding factor. He doesn't need to throw for 400 yards to win. He just needs to keep making the right plays at the right moments. And if the Falcons' game was any indication, Herbert is dialed in and ready to lead this team in another crucial matchup. So, let's put it all together. You've got Shenault Jr. coming in as a dynamic playmaker, Ladd McConkey possibly suiting up, Chiefs potentially missing Hardman, and most importantly, you've got Harbaugh, a coach who's made a career out of taking down giants. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Justin Herbert has what it takes to carry this team past the Chiefs, especially with the playoffs on the line? How much of an impact do you expect Laviska Shenault Jr. to have in his Chargers debut? And here's a big one. How do you see Jim Harbaugh's coaching style influencing the Chargers' chances in these must-win games? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's dive into this discussion together. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated with all the latest AFC West news, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring you the best content, and we'd love to have you as part of our community.